Hey, hello, Facebook. Fred Weaver, Kevin Kaufman, joined today by our business partner, Aaron Lebovic in Denver, and very excited to welcome Deanna and Eric Dopslafs from Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Absolutely. Welcome, guys. We're so happy to have you.
Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
So we are excited to be here.
Thank you. Let's jump into it. You guys made a comment to me the other day, and you said, we've always been considered by other people as non-recruitable. What the heck are you doing changing companies?
Well, why are we changing companies? Well, we were trying, and we knew it was ready for a change. We were ready to look for something different, and we had gone as far as we really could go with our business where we were, and we just needed to find a place where we could collaborate with bigger minds and really make our business grow.
And we've known Fred and Kevin for 12 years, and they've been business partners with us for 12 years. And we just decided that, trust brotherhood, and it was a hard decision, but, we just decided we had a good run where we were at. It's time to make a change.
That is awesome. Well, as you guys said, Kevin and I have known you for many, many years. We met outside of the real estate industry before we found ourselves inside of the real estate industry working together. And I know we were hanging out many months ago, and I just thought I want to give you guys this opportunity. You guys had a really cool experience last year where you went to this mastermind event, and you guys, I remember you telling Kevin and I about this, and just as you were explaining the story to us, it just seemed like it was sort of a really pivotal time in your lives where you had some new revelations, some new discoveries. So maybe share that with us for a minute.
It was a game changer.
It was a game changer. I mean, we went to it's an entrepreneurial masterminds. It wasn't a real estate masterminds. And our history. I thought I was pretty squared away. My box was pretty tight. I had big beliefs, and we walked into this room and realized that, yeah, my box isn't really square, and I have a buttload of limiting beliefs. And with the people there they're phenomenal individuals that people know and would recognize, to sit down and have a conversation with these and to challenge your belief system was a game changer for us. I mean, we walked in and we were probably we were within the 1%, the lower 1%.
The wrong 1%, really one.
We had never been, we've always surrounded ourselves with people at our former brokerage that we thought were big thinkers. And we felt that we were big thinkers, especially for New Mexico. And when we walked in the room and realized we were in that bottom 1%, and we weren't thinking big. And they really, really pushed our limits and let us know and gave us permission to really just dream bigger.
Well, dream bigger, and they call it big ass dreams, bad, and call it bad. And a lot of these folks, and it didn't matter if they made $500,000 or $1 billion, they were there to help you. And having a conversation with these folks changed my way of thinking, changed my outlook, not just in real estate, but in the business world and in my personal world.
Yeah, and Kevin, I don't know, you and I were in that same meeting. I just felt like when they were sharing that story with us, that experience for them sort of gave them permission to open up possibilities they may never have considered before.
Yeah, and the sense that I had got from you guys when we were having that conversation was that wasn't even just about real estate. In fact, it was almost less about real estate than anything else in your life. Yet it obviously has an impact on your core business, and it just gave you permission to dream bigger, as you just said, Eric. And Deanna, you've shared with us so many of the other things that you kind of have on your plate to accomplish in your lifetime. And I felt like that meeting, that first time you went to that mastermind, it gave you some different insight and permission, if you will, to start exploring those other things. And how do you get there faster?
It did. It really pointed out that we had bought into a lot of truths, or at least what we thought were truths. And we embraced that idea that those truths were really limiting, and that we could be so much more, not just in our personal lives, but our business life with real estate, and also in other channels of income, and whether it be through expansion or other profit lines. And we never had thought that big before.
And the other thing is, we went to that in early, this time last year, about March of last year. And then other events throughout the year cemented it. I mean, Big John Cheplack having a conversation at Next Level Agents scared the hell out of me, made my brain blow up, and having the event with you guys. And yes, that's real estate. However, we had a lot of personal conversations in LA as well.
Yeah, we did.
That's awesome. Well, one of the things I know we all appreciate about this model is collaboration, right, Aaron? And you and Kevin and I have been collaborating for, half a decade, and we've been collaborating with these guys for a decade, and it's been fun to kind of cross all these different relationships up and bring value to each other. So, Aaron, I know you just came on Facebook with me about a week ago and, revealed that, that you had some thoughts and even consider going back to Keller Williams, the place that these guys also called home for many, many years. And so there's so many options out there, right? And there's so much going on. So, Aaron, I just want to give you a chance to say hi to everybody and tell us your excitement over just having the opportunity to collaborate together.
I thought I was just going to sit here and look pretty, but I'm happy to talk to you. That's great for me. Yeah, one of the things, so what we experienced was I was at Keller Williams for 4 of the years, and the Dopslafs and I had created a relationship, reciprocating referrals, and it's been great. And once we moved over to eXp, those conversations never stopped. The referrals never stopped flowing. And what I realized is that there are other options out there. There are other options out there for real estate companies and what they provide. And once we kind of, as you've said before, kind of popped outside of the house and realized that there's other opportunities that look very different and could be a better fit, the relationships still remain the same regardless of the company. It just becomes a lot more fun when we can come over to eXp and collaborate, support each other, and build each other's businesses even more.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. I agree with that. We went, gosh, what, 6 years, Aaron? 5 or 6 years we've known each other. But and I think that's what a lot of people miss out on, is that they don't realize these relationships run deep, and it doesn't matter what the sign is in the yard. It's really about the collaboration. And I think what we, Fred and I, we were talking about that sign that my dad used to have behind his desk at work. And I'll kind of, summarize it a little bit differently, because my dad was kind of a real hardcore kind of guy when it came to some of his thoughts. But he used to always say that if you want to, fly like an eagle or soar like an eagle, you need to join eagles. And that's something that I've always tried to do. And now we have an opportunity to really be working with some high-level talent that we didn't have access to. Even though we were at a massive company, we just didn't have the access to folks like you and Fred and Kevin and Aaron, and even some of the other folks that you've invited us to meet. And this is awesome. The collaboration is great. It's genuine. I think that's a big difference.
It's genuine. And, a good example, I'll throw a couple names out there. Curtis reached out to us. Nolly reached out to us. They're big people. They're phenomenal in their own game, and to have those, get that text message. Hey, dude, what do you need? How can I support? How can I help? That says volumes to the collaboration group that Fred, Kevin, Aaron, and Curtis and you guys have built. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome. The alignment and collaboration at eXp, it's one of the amazing parts of this model. But maybe go ahead and share with us, like, for some people that are watching this right now, they're like, what? Deanna, Eric, like, these guys were, they were at this other brokerage for years and years, poured their lives into it. Why would you make such a big move? What is it about eXp that excites you so much that you were able to move into a new arena?
Well, and that's an understatement. I mean, this is a huge move for us. We were at our other brokers for 9 years. We have a massive downline. I mean, huge, almost what?
Yeah, I don't know the exact number.
Yeah, but it's in the hundreds. And we were involved in leadership. We were PC coaches. We were a finance and growth committee. So we were in deep, and we realized, even after all of that time and commitment, that the model just wasn't working for us anymore. And when we took a harder look, and honestly, people really discouraged us from even looking outside of our little box. And when we finally took a harder look at eXp and we reached out to you and had that conversation, we realized that this model was just so much more conducive to our personalities, our business model, our desire to pour into other people. We've always been that way, but this time we're now financially and collaboratively aligned with everybody, that everybody wins.
Yeah, it's a win-win, and the opportunity to partner with you ugly mugs on the screen.
Hey, Aaron and I are here to look pretty, okay?
Well, I think one of the things we had talked for years about getting into business together, and we, because we always like, wow, what would it be like to be an expansion team of Group 4610? And you guys were fabulous. You came from such a place of integrity and said, this doesn't make sense for you. And the old model that we just left, it really doesn't make sense for talented agents to walk away from their businesses and join with other bigger agents. It's just not financially compatible. But now we're in a model that we can work with you and we all win. We couldn't do that before.
Yeah.
There's no doubt there's something about this model and the alignment where we can be in alignment and have like-minded goals, and it doesn't have to be that now one of us needs to pay the other, right? Like everything's out on the table. You get to have your business, I get to have mine, and we can all work together as if we're on the same team, and we never have to share a check. That creates a new level of alignment and collaboration that you can't experience. You can't know it until you've actually experienced it firsthand.
Yeah, and that's right. I mean, one of the things Fred said was eXp is production forward, and that the rewards that you get for your effort are true. They're true and honest reflection of my efforts, my contribution to the company, Eric's efforts, your efforts. It's not going, what we pour into it, we get back. We don't have to decide who's going to tell us what we get back. And that's really important to us now, because that was something we realized at our old company, that we just didn't have control of what we got back.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's no fault of our old company. I know all of us hold them in high regard and esteem for what we were taught. And there are some models that work for some periods of time, and then they work less for us. And then there's new models that come along that can take us to new places and provide new opportunities. And I think that's, as we've all gotten to know you guys, that's what you guys have seen with eXp is, I mean, yes, there's a collaboration and there's an amazing brokerage company behind it. And one of the sort of fallacies out there about eXp, and it's probably still to a degree true in New Mexico because of how little agents there are with eXp in New Mexico. It's still relatively new and small in New Mexico. Is that a lot of times people can think, well, eXp is just the place that small thinkers and small producers go, or, just your average agent goes to hang his license and whatever. But the reality is that eXp is a place that rewards production. And so there's a fit for brand new agents. There's a fit for agents that are experienced and happy with their results. There's a fit for agents that run large teams and want to grow and scale. There's production bonuses, and it's a production-oriented environment where the model rewards productivity. It rewards it both in real estate sales as well as when you help grow and attract the company, which is really awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's you brought up a good point about New Mexico. Let me tell you guys, people are underestimating what eXp has to offer here. Yep. The New Mexico leadership is extraordinary. They're fabulous folks, amazing, high caliber agents. There's been this big, I guess you could say, everybody's been paying attention to a lot of the big companies that are just kind of picking away at each other, and nobody's paying attention to eXp. And the eXp folks here they're pretty powerful. I'm impressed with what I've seen. I'm impressed with how they give back to their community, to the realtor community, to the consumer community, in terms of how involved they are even at the state level in trying to make real estate just a better process. And so we're really excited to be in business with them. But let me tell you, people who are not paying attention to this eXp group here in New Mexico are making a mistake.
So Eric and Deanna, I'd love to hear, I know you've been going through a lot of what eXp has to offer, and in your search, in your decision to join eXp, what are some of the things specifically that stood out to you that's like, oh wow, eXp does that, or oh, that's interesting, that could help actually agents produce and sell more real estate?
Wow.
Well, I think the key, I mean, the one thing that comes to mind is collaboration. The next thing that comes to mind is, when I finally got when I was in the world and seeing the different training and masterminds and things of that are out there for agents to drop in, do 20 minutes, drop out. It's not, I have to be sitting in a classroom. I don't have to pay for it to get the training.
Yeah.
I have a question. I call Aaron. I call Fred. I call Kevin. I call Curtis. I call Nolly. Hey, dude, how do I, well, I don't know the answer, but let's go on and find the answer.
Right.
And there's no cost involved.
Yeah, the training piece of it was extraordinary. We were looking at it, and it was where we came from, our market center. Yeah, they offer training, but it was the same old training over and over again. No new talent. It was very difficult to get talent in here. We don't have those barriers anymore. I go on, and there's some talent in every room when we go into the training. And they're folks that, when I finally kind of backtrack and look at their background, I'm like, wow, I'm actually sitting in a room training with these folks, and that's amazing. And I think also what's really cool is I think you're taking into consideration that there's agents that are coming on board with different backgrounds. You've got training on Sunday nights. Wow.
Right.
We've had a lot of second career agents who come into our previous company that they fizzle out because there's no one there to support them. The door and the lights go off at 5 o'clock. We're done. Mm-hmm. And nobody's there for them.
Yeah. Aaron, just to add I was surprised by some of the same stuff that they're saying. I was surprised that who has a Sunday night training for new agents, right? I look at the marketing center at eXp and I go, that's amazing. And no disrespect to other brokerages out there, but there are some that say they're more technology and marketing driven. And I've looked at their stuff compared to eXp, and I'll put eXp's marketing center up against any of them, right? The access to training, the access to support and needing help, being more so than just a 9 to 5 when that person happens to show up. Broker support. I know that was one question you guys had, and probably a lot of your New Mexico friends have, which is, well, I don't think, if I joined a virtual company, I would get very well supported by my brokerage. I think you guys have had just the opposite experience, right?
Oh, they've been all over it. I've gotten better response on all my questions, whether it be at the local level or being able to go into eXp World and get questions answered. And it's like, I'm not waiting days for answers.
and in our former company, our QB was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
He was a rock star.
Yep.
However, he had so much on his plate, mm-hmm. which made it difficult. We can reach out to an expert broker, or I can reach out to a national like
get
that.
Some answers,
and get some answers like that.
There's a difference when in one model, and this is not to say one's right or wrong, good or bad, but in one model where that leadership team is really, from a technical standpoint, legal standpoint, is sort of thought of as not really the main focus. And then you're over here at eXp where that's a big part of the value proposition that they bring to you, and they can do it. We can be done here at such a high level because we remove the barriers of the physical location, which means we now have more hours that these people are available for us and more of them available to us for support overall. It's really quite amazing when you have that experience, which you've already seen.
And one thing,
go ahead.
One thing I'll add is what I noticed from a franchise model is if you want support not just from the broker team but also other agents, your source of gathering information might, for instance, be a Facebook page. But what I found is it's typically a Facebook page just for that individual office.
Yeah.
And with eXp being one brokerage worldwide, we have our version of a Facebook page. It's actually called Workplace. by Facebook, there's different groups you can go into depending on what question you have. And so, for instance, if you're thinking about creating a new sign and you want to say, well, what do you all think about this sign? It's not just the 27 people from your local office that check that Facebook page every once in a while. There's about 15,000 people in the yard sign group. Or KV Core, when you have a question about your CRM, hey, how would you handle this, or what have you found that works best for you? You can type that question and you have a whole boatload of responses extremely quickly from people all over the country.
Yeah, an expanded brain trust.
I like that.
Yeah.
Expanded brain trust. Yeah. Like collaboration is kind of a word we sort of overuse, but what it really is like an expanded brain trust almost 24/7.
Yeah.
Like I see people posting at 9 and 10 o'clock at night and giving instant answers and getting instant answers. And like, there's just this extreme amount of that brain trust and operating and working.
Well, you know, and I know a lot of people, I mean, honestly, we've had a lot of people reach out to us in the last 24 hours and they're just like, you know, you're talking about a virtual brokerage. I'm like, really? I said, this is such a simple concept. I realized we moved out of our office.
Out of the brick and mortar in August.
Yeah, in August into kind of our own little home hub office. You know, it's not too bad. And we realized in hindsight, we didn't need the brick and mortar. Last time we met with a client in our office, we had 2 people last year actually come to our office. It wasn't important to us. And, you know, because we go where the client is, and the client isn't in my office. They're out in the field. They're out the houses. They're in the open houses. They're at our events. And so
and half the time they prefer to meet at Starbucks or something of that nature and sit and talk real estate as opposed to coming to a brick and mortar.
Yeah.
So, and also just the you know, it's kind of economies of scale. If you bring all of that extra overhead out of the brick and mortar and put it into this virtual space, it's so much better. And that's, I think, really what makes this profit model work out better.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing that most people who don't see it, it's because they haven't looked for it yet. But once you change the viewpoint on it and you get rid of the blinders, you realize what a bigger world that creates for you when you remove the physical boundaries and the boundary of the excessive overhead for payroll and the excessive overhead for retail space that you don't need. Like you just don't need in this day and age. So it does open up the possibilities in a big way.
And honestly, I think the other big companies are going to be headed the same direction. They have no choice but to go that direction.
Well, I would agree.
Gary told me it was going to be launched by the end of the year last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he meant that about.
I think he meant that about his expansion virtual brokerage. But anyhow, hey, so guys, I want to ask you a quick question. I know you've got a lot of New Mexico friends that are watching this and agents, and so they're going to be curious and want to reach out. But I also know that there was a lot of your friends that just saw you a couple weeks ago at Keller Williams' main event, family reunion, and I thought I'd give you an opportunity to speak to that. You went to Keller Williams' event. I think it's safe to say you guys probably thought you were leaving, but tell us more about why'd you go and what was kind of where were you at? What's this process been like emotionally? Because I know that it's not easy. Maybe you could let us into kind of how you guys have gone through and processed this whole potential move. It's
been a very, very, very well thought out process. It's been difficult. You're right. We went to family reunion last week, and we had already made the decision that the move was the best decision for us. But you know, we had invested a lot of time, heart, love, blood, tears, you name it. We had invested a lot into our commitment to Keller Williams for 9 years. And we went back hoping to fall in love with it again, because we had talked about this in our meeting last fall. We've just fallen out of love with the company, and we went back open-minded to really see what was going to be offered. We reconnected. We have a huge network of referral partners, a couple hundred. We were on the phone with all of them yesterday. That was a long day talking to them about our decision. But we went back to see them, shore up those relationships, and see if we could fall back in love. And it just wasn't. It really didn't speak to us anymore. And that was a kind of a.
It's kind of an aha, but it was a very challenging decision, well thought out. And, you know, we came home and kind of went, we
This
still
is
need to
right.
make the move. This is right going to eXp because we are culturally and financially aligned. You know, the model allows us to do this in a healthy way, you know, and it's just, I feel better
Where
about
we're going.
where
Yeah.
we're going.
And
If
that,
that
you know,
makes sense.
and a lot of folks, a lot of people are really hanging on to the technology piece. It's going to be amazing someday. We're not ready. We've got clients who we don't have time to wait for the learning curve, and that just we realized at that point, seeing what was coming out or whenever it's going to come out, it just wasn't important to our business because our clients, we're going to go where our clients are, and they're not there yet. And so what was more important is for us to have a solid business with a solid business model that was going to move us into the next, 10 or more years.
Yeah. That's awesome. Hey, last question if I could, and then you guys can any closing thoughts, but how's your team feel about this? Like how are they doing?
They're loving it. We were blessed. Every single one of them, when presented the opportunity, we're like, we're in. They saw it, they understood everything. And we have some folks who are on our team. Some of them were founders of the Keller Williams office here in Albuquerque, and they opted to leave also. And that was a difficult decision for them. And I'm really honored that they chose to come on board with us, stay with us, and they saw what was available to them in this amazing opportunity.
And that's kudos to the model.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to Deanna and I as well, but it's kudos to the model that they trusted us in our decision to move and to follow us to eXp, to be affiliated and collaborate with you three and Curtis and some other folks.
Well, I got a feeling there's going to be a lot more following you. I know you guys are going to remain friends with all of your friends in New Mexico and outside of New Mexico, regardless of brand affiliation. But I have a feeling you guys are going to have a few other people that want to follow you over to this really cool new collaboration model where there's just new possibilities that could be created in a great new environment and where we can just encourage each other and work with each other to continue to sell more real estate, have more fun, and make more money. So I'm excited to be on this journey with you guys.
I'm excited for the moments that are to come where about at least once a week, you're going to be saying, oh, wow, this is awesome. You might even lose a little bit of sleep at how cool and how fun it is to be at this great company. And I'm just thrilled I get to share that experience with you.
We're really excited about the opportunity.
We're thrilled, to be affiliated with eXp, with Aaron, Kevin, Fred, the entire team, Curtis, Nolly, some other folks that we've been introduced to, and I can't thank you guys enough for exposing us to this opportunity, and it was just a conversation, and that was the coolest part about it all. It was just a conversation.
We're here to have any conversation anybody wants to have.
Absolutely. I guess I'll close and say, that's what it is, right? It's all, at the end of the day, it's relationships and stuff develops naturally or it doesn't. And I think that's the coolest part about it. And, with that being said, I would say you guys have some massive relationships deep and wide across the country. And so I'm guessing people are going to reach out anyways. But again, reach out via Facebook or text or email or whatever the case is to Eric and Deanna or, anybody else here who's on this. And we'd love to be able to help you understand things a little bit better with whatever questions you've got.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Awesome. Well, hey, guys, welcome to eXp Realty. I know you guys are already rocking and rolling. Got the new brand on your Facebook, got it on your website. You're ready to go. So we're happy you guys are here and excited to talk with you here real soon. I feel like I talked to you like a couple times a day already.
That's pretty awesome.
I know that's going to continue. So, hey, go get back to things. I know you got a lot of clients to take care of and probably got some other agents that are blowing your phone up wanting to know what's going on. So we look forward to visiting with you guys again real soon. Thanks for sharing with us today.
Hey, thanks, guys. You guys are awesome.
Everything.
All right, y'all. See you later.
Guys.
Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you so much for tuning in today and joining us. For more information regarding eXp Realty, we'd like to invite you to one of our Discover the Truth of eXp Realty webinars. You can find that information at kevinandfred.com/truth. Again, that's kevinandfred.com/truth. Thanks so much. Create yourself a great day.